Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another Morning Coffee Talks. Hey, for a lot of men, one thing that we consider a non negotiable when it comes to relationships, marriage, dating, all of the above is having peace, right? But I think we need to have a very clear definition of what peace looks like, right? And I think we have to get something straight. First and foremost, peace isn't passive. It's not. Silence doesn't fix anything. Shutting down doesn't bring harmony. I would say even it builds walls. And I think for most men, if you really want peace in your home, it's not about being quiet, but it is definitely about being structured. And so I think that men think, oh, I want silence in my home. But silence isn't peace, man. And when I say silence, I don't mean everybody walk around, they're not talking, but just the noise of everything, right? The chaos in a sense, right? Just the quiet before the storm, right? Silence isn't peace though. It's avoidance. And I think that too many men think that if they just stop talking or they walk away or they keep things kind of bottled up, that's maintaining peace. And it's not. Because what actually happens is resentment starts to build, right? That disconnection starts to grow. And real peace isn't about the absence of sound, it's about the presence of understanding and stability. And I feel that if you're going to lead, then you have to speak up. You have to be assertive, right? You need to act. You need to organize the chaos and not hide from it. Because here's the thing, at this point in your life, young man, old man, there's always going to be chaos. There's always going to be problems. But the beautiful part about it is there's always solution. And so you might as well attack the problem versus try to avoid or hide from it, right? And a lot of times, man, this is something that it took me a while to really like grasp and understand, because a lot of times we just going with the flow, right? We just running with life. We're in survival mode. We're not in thriving mode. And chaos comes from a lack of discipline. If your home is messy, if your finances are out of order, if your relationship is tense, then at some point you have to check the structure behind it. You have to figure out why your house isn't in order. Peace is the fruits of a good system, man. Like your budget, your routine, your communication, your goals, right? These type of things in a system that's good and set up and structured is what's gonna bring you peace. You can't ask for a peaceful woman, man, or peaceful kids when it's inconsistent and disorganized, right? Here's the thing, and I used to go heavy on this in my earlier videos. I used to say how you got a plan, how you don't have a plan, but God had a plan, right? When you look at Genesis and stuff, and how that God talked about how He created heavens and earths in 6 days and rested on the seventh. That's a system, right? That's a plan behind it. That was a routine from day one to day six, right? Those are goals. You understand? Every day something was done, every day something was created, but there was a plan behind it and there was beautiful execution behind it. So if you want a peaceful home, you have to be organized, man. And it takes a little time to get there if you haven't been in practice. However, once you set it up, now it's not a set and forget it, but it is a situation where once the system is placed in and you can run it, if something goes left in that system, it's easy for you just to pop back in, right? And tweak something and keep it going. It's not like the whole thing falls apart and you got to start from scratch every time. No, sometimes it's just like a car, right? You may have to replace the tire. The car is built. You can drive it. You know how it works. But sometimes, you know what? You got to get an oil change in that car. You got to change the tires. You got to change the windshield wiping fluid. You might have to change the windshield wipers, right? There's parts on that car you're going to have to change, but the car is not breaking down. That's the part about it, what I'm saying. If you stay on top of it, right? Get them tune-ups and all of that. And that's just part of it. But the car, the structure of it isn't breaking down on you. So that's important. Why? You can keep down the chaos if you have the system in place and stay disciplined with it. All right. And lastly, man, this is something I've always talked about as well, is just leadership is going to always set that tone, right? You set the thermostat in your house emotionally and spiritually, right? You want peace, you have to set boundaries, right? You have to communicate clearly. You have to build routines and you have to create a plan. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And it's that simple. It's not like you got to do 50 things. That's 5 things. Set boundaries, right? Like, put your house in order where they know what is what, right? It's like, if you ever worked in any like retail or whatever, they have something called planograms, right? Everything has a spot in the store. We used to say everything has a home in the store, right? So like, if you walk into a gas station, just look around. You'll see the drinks in the cooler, right? All of them have, like, Coke have their section, Pepsi has their section, the chips have their area, right? The sweet treats have their. Everything has order in that store. So that way, when you come in as a consistent customer, you know where everything is in that store. Go to Publix, go to Kroger. Everything has a planogram. Everything is set in order, right? And that makes things easy. So when you go shopping in there, you know where stuff at. The meat's not everywhere different in the store every time you walk in. You see what I'm saying? And that's the same way you have to be when it comes to setting boundaries in your house. Everybody knows what's what, right? And then the second thing, again, I'm just going to reiterate, you got to communicate there clearly, especially when it comes to women. You constantly have to communicate. I can't tell you why. It's like a short-term memory thing, but you just have to. Right? You just constantly have to. You have to constantly remind them. I'm not saying every day, but you just got to. That's just what it is, right? But communicate clearly on what it is. And when I say communicate, that's just, hey, what's going on? Just being on top of things, right? Whatever the plan is, whatever y'all have going on, whatever there's an issue or problem, or even good things, communicate that very clearly, right? Build routines. Listen, a man without a plan is going to fail every time. What's the saying we used to be in football? I think it was something along the lines like, fail to plan, plan to fail. I think that's what it was. Fail to plan, like not having a plan, and you plan to fail. And so I think that's just very important, man. A man has to have a routine daily. He has to have a plan every day, and he can follow. If you go back videos ago, I showed you guys my routine. I'm booked and busy every day. My day started at 3:30. It's not over until about 8:30 every single day, p.m., right? And that little bit of time when I said, okay, I'm shutting down my day as far as work, that's me at the end, like leaving time for my wife. Or if I had kids, I would even probably shut it down about 7:30, depending on what's going on. If I had kids, to give them time as well. But and I made a video about why men cheat and why men don't hit their goals as well, because they don't have a plan. They don't have a routine. Every day when you wake up, you should know everything you got going on that day, right? And this is leadership because you're setting the tone, whereas you know what you're doing as a man, your wife knows what you're doing as a man, your kids know what you're doing as a man. They see you and say, okay, man, my dad has a plan. He has a routine. He's disciplined. He's in order. We know what's going on. We know what direction this family's going because of how he's leading, because of how he's moving, right? You have to have your house in order, man. You have to calm the chaos. You have to control the chaos, right? And so if you want peace in your home, you want her energy calm, your wife, you have to bring clarity. Right? You want more respect from your kids. You have to lead with examples and consistency, right? Structure. Well, let me say this. Again, remember, Our job is to provide and protect, right? Structure brings safety. Structure brings protection, right? And safety is what brings peace, right? So that's just very important, man. And let me say this before we get out of here. The next time you feel like you want to withdraw, right? You want to pull back, you want to run and hide. You have to remember peace. If you want that peace, man, it's earned, not given. You have to show up and you have to take leadership and control to be able to get that peace, because it's earned, right? It's not about shutting up. Remember that. It's not about shutting up. It's about showing up. Bring structure, bring consistency, and you'll watch the chaos calm down. Calm down, not go away, right? Not go away. It's always going to be chaos, because that's just the balance, right? There's the high and the low, the in and out. Remember, life is balance. That's just what it is, good and evil. But you can tilt the scale by having a system in place, right? And it's not because you silenced it, not because you silenced the chaos again. You quiet it down. It's because you let it, man. It's because you took the lead, right? So if you want peace, that's what it is. That's what it's gonna take. So hey, drop a comment below. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. Subscribe to the Husband Code if it's your first time. If you've been watching for a while, subscribe. Also hit that notification bell if you want to constantly see videos like this. And if you got any value in this video, hit that like button. And until next time, I appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.